Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Amy Woszczynski. I'm Professor of Information Systems at Kennesaw State University, and I'm pleased to be the teacher for your course. I've been at Kennesaw State University since 2000. This is my home, Go Owls, and I'm very happy to be here. Many of my students, instead of calling me Dr. Woszczynski, they call me Dr. Amy. I'm fine with your calling me Amy or Dr. W or whatever you find comfortable. I'm pretty flexible. Woszczynski is absolutely my husband's fault. Here's a super secret way to remember how to spell it. W-O-S, zebra cat, zebra, Y-N-S-K-I. There will not be a test on this at the end of the day. While work is very important to me, my family always comes first, probably like many of you. I have two sons, both young adults, 18 and 19. One is playing baseball at Georgia Highlands College in Cartersville, and the other is a senior at Woodstock High School. You can usually find me at one baseball field or soccer field or another, whatever they happen to be doing, but I love it. I also have two puppies, Luna and Hershey. They're my fur babies. I love them more than my kids. Don't tell my kids. And my husband teaches at River Ridge High School. He teaches science. He worked for many years at the Weather Channel as a meteorologist prior to becoming a teacher. He was not on air, but he told the people on air what to say. He also had the distinction of being part of the project group of just a few people who launched weather.com for the first time, on CompuServe, no less. Let me give you some information on my professional background. Prior to joining academia, I worked for about 10 years in industry. After earning my bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech, go Jackets! I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech, and I'll let you fill in the rest. After that, I began work as an apparel engineer at Sewell Manufacturing Company in Bremen, Georgia, just north of Carrollton. Sewell made men's and women's tailored suits for brands such as Lands' End and Colors by. I moved up to assistant plant manager after about 7 months there, supervising the engineering and office staff and supporting the plant manager and the director of manufacturing. Sewell moved to Heflin, Alabama shortly after I left, and they went out of business after that. As you probably know, very little apparel is manufactured in the United States anymore. After Sewell, I moved to Ram Styles and made uniforms for companies such as Delta Airlines, Steak and Shake, and many others. I also began the MBA program at KSU while I was working. Ram Styles, like Sewell, went out of business shortly after I left. At least most places waited until after I left. After Ram Styles, I went to Amona Corporation, which is now Coloplast. They were bought out by Coloplast, so they didn't technically go out of business. Amona manufactured external breast prostheses for women who have had a mastectomy. I was brought in to launch an apparel line for the prostheses, including breast covers and bras. Along the way, I used technology wherever I could, trying to find a way to be innovative and use it in my daily responsibilities. With my interest in technology, I did change careers. I worked at Career Development Institute in Atlanta, a proprietary school which offered computer science and technology-related degrees. Incidentally, they also went out of business and for misusing federal funds given to students. And some of those people, the upper people, not in our office, went to jail and were blacklisted from ever getting any more grants, federal grant money. But they offered computer science technology-related degrees. I left 1 week before the feds put the locks on the door. and I moved to Troutman Sanders law firm, a very large firm in Midtown Atlanta, right across kind of catty corner to the Varsity at the Bank of America building. There I developed databases, conducted training, created training, documented training, and provided all sorts of technical support on whatever was going on. While I was there, I applied to and was accepted to Clemson University's PhD program. Go Tigers. Not as big of a Clemson fan, but still. I spent 2 years living in Clemson and completing my coursework for the PhD program. Then I accepted a job offer at Georgia State and was there for 2 years while I finished my dissertation and, oh yeah, had a baby too at that time. When I finished my degree in 2000, KSU had a job opening and it was a good fit. I've been here ever since then. My KSU teachers were the best I've ever had, truly. They encouraged and mentored me. They are why I pursued and completed the PhD program. My life would have probably been very different if I had not gone down this path. I do my best to emulate these teachers, treating students with respect, offering advice when requested, as students transition laterally or up the ladder at their current organization or to different organizations entirely. Now for my teaching, I teach courses related to management information systems or information systems, legal and ethical issues in information systems, and healthcare management and informatics. I do teach only graduate students, which has been a good thing for me. I've really enjoyed the graduate students. I teach the MS in Information Systems and the MS in Healthcare Management and Informatics programs at KSU, and I also teach in the Georgia WebMBA. I research at the intersection of diversity, law, ethics, and IS. I have studied IT professionals in the U.S., Ukraine, Russia, India, and Mexico with colleague Virginia Kleist and others. She's at West Virginia University. We may expand to additional countries in the future. We look at culture and tradition influences how we complete teamwork, the education we receive, the expectations we have regarding work-family life balance, and so forth. In our studies, we have found differences in gender, ethnicity, and age, although these differences do not always hold up across countries. However, managers who understand cultural differences may be better able to manage their global teams. I'm currently working on a research project with co-authors Mike Whitman and Herb Mattert. We are looking at student attitudes toward computer ethics. You've never illegally downloaded any music, have you? You have friends maybe that have? Maybe. So far, we have surveyed a large number of students over several years from several different countries and a diverse mix of graduate, undergraduate, any sort of diversity you can think of, we have it. And when I say diversity, I don't mean men and women, or I mean all sorts of diversity, the experiences you have, the degrees you've acquired, the countries where you've lived, what you like to do. Having a good diverse mix of that is helpful. We do plan to investigate differences among the students and how we can better understand the ethical frameworks that they use when evaluating how do we interact with technology. As cybersecurity challenges continue to mount, numerous legal and ethical challenges have become evident. While much of my research has used the individual level of analysis, I'm currently working on several projects that examine the policies and procedures used by critical infrastructure systems, co-authored with Andy Green and others. Although we would like to think that critical infrastructure systems at the local, state, and national levels are secure, accurate, and timely, this research project explores potential problems with the current system and proposes steps to take to improve the cybersecurity of the systems. We don't want to have another zombie apocalypse, as was broadcast by emergency systems in several states in 2013. Google it. It really happened. Kind of interesting. And we don't want another 2017, 2018 missile alert, ballistic missile alert. Take cover immediately. Assuming I had any spare time, I like to walk on the treadmill. I'm a night owl. I'm not a morning person, so I work out at odd hours, often late at night. The treadmill works for me. I love reading books and often do the treadmill and books together. I don't read, I'm not talking about the textbook for this class. I do read it, but I'm not talking about the textbook for this class, but fun books like mystery, suspense, horror, post-apocalyptic, zombie, etc. Something that takes me to another place and gets me engrossed in it. Reading is one of my passions. Like many of you, I'm sure, I also like binge watching Netflix and Amazon and TV. I enjoy really diverse types of shows, from The Walking Dead, my #1 show, to Better Call Saul, House Hunters International, and Last Chance U. Surely we overlap on some of those interests. Thank goodness for Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu. What did we do before we had them? Like many of you, I often work at home, so while you may see me in business casual attire when I'm out and about, what you may not know is that I'm sitting at my work couch with sleeping puppies nearby, perhaps wearing my Walking Dead pajamas, also known as lounge pants. What I'd like for you to do now, I've given you a short introduction to me. You don't need to do a video, but I'd like for you to post a brief bio of you with a picture of your dog or your child, or you don't have to do a picture, whatever you like. Tell me a little bit about yourself and we'll get to know each other a little better. I'm looking forward to the class. Everybody